Remedies.
I know you feel it, the burning in your spirit, welling deep inside. You got a beast inside. I know it's hard to tame it, it's harder to explain it. Can't even get a picture, no matter how you frame it. There's so much pressure with all these external stresses, and they try to test you. Gotta push them through the feeling, even though your mind is reeling. The power's deep inside and leads you if you were willing. Got the power. Feel the power. This is the hour to release your power. Got the power. Can you feel the power? This is the hour to release your power. Got the power. Can you feel the power? Release your power. Got the power. Can you feel the power? This is the hour to release your power.
I might want to turn the mic on first. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Power Shut Up podcast. We are in the beginnings of season 2, and we have had some wonderful guests come, and we talked about some amazing topics. Tonight is not going to be any exception to that rule. We are going to continue with it, and we've been in kind of the check yourself before you wreck yourself kind of move right now. So we've been talking about how we can work on ourselves first, because I think it starts with self. Before you start telling somebody else what they need to do, you need to start fixing you. So we started there with this season, and tonight is going to be one of those nights where we talk about some remedies and some healing. And I love the fact that we have versatile guests come on the show and talk about different things. So I'm excited to get into it. This is a new book release that's coming out. So you all are going to get some information on how you can get a copy. So it's a lot of information we're going to share tonight, but I want to get started with first saying, because you all know that I'm a celebrator. I want to say happy birthday to anyone who's celebrating a birthday today or this month. Happy birthday to you. It's your time. I take a month, so you can take one too. So happy birthday to you. I am all about love as well. So happy anniversary to anyone who's celebrating love, a new relationship, an old relationship. It don't have to be marriage, but anybody who's celebrating love or anniversary, enjoy. I also wanted to say congratulations. Congratulations to anybody who has bought a new home, they've started a new job, or they've released a new book. We're going to talk about it. Congratulations to all of you all. I did also want to mention October is a really busy awareness month. There's a lot going on this month. So I wanted to kind of bring out Domestic Violence, National Bully Prevention, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October. So I wanted to make sure I acknowledge those. I also wanted to bring out the fact that, I don't know if everyone knew this, but World Homeless Day is today. And I also wanted to share that World Mental Health Day is also today. And I like to sometimes share these things because we don't realize that there are a lot of people going through a lot of things out here. And although, you know, life is going as usual for you, there are some people that these days are important to them because they get recognition. Someone's there to help them. So just keep these in mind, keep them in your pocket. They circling around, they create new ones every year. So just keep those in mind. So I wanted to make sure, and I also wanted to do just a shout out to say your prayers to those who are affected by the hurricanes. I know it's really ugly out there. So I know Florida is getting hit really bad. I know I have family in Georgia. So anybody who's affected by it, we want to send our prayers out to you to be safe. And I think there are a lot of people out here that are giving back to those people. So please look out for those who are doing something to assist those who are maybe displaced or whatever it is. So we're sending our prayers up to you all. But we're going to get into our guest tonight. I would like to first, Michelle, I'm going to have to now, some of the other ladies, this is their first time being on the podcast. I know some of you remember me from Luncheon with Lisa. Michelle has been a guest on Luncheon with Lisa. Michelle has been a guest on the Power Shut Up. So she is, as I say to the other guests that have been here, we're not serving Michelle anything to drink. She can go on over to the refrigerator and get it herself. Okay. You're going to go get yourself, but we're going to serve the other ladies. But welcome to the Power Shut Up podcast for the first time. And Michelle is Dr. Michelle, Professor Michelle, and I'm going to give her due. She worked hard for it, so she's due it. But I wanted to welcome you back, Professor Michelle Bolden Hammond, to the Power Shut Up and to the co-authors of your new release. We're going to take you off mute, too. Not taking the Power Shut Up way too seriously.
Well, thank you again, Lisa. Thank you. Always a pleasure to come to the Power Shut Up or just to be here, just to share. It's very important, like you said, about healing. And I'm going to bring out something that before we go into it, something that you were talking about different areas and different things like that. It's all about numbers. So when people talk about numerology, I'm going to blow their minds because something just happened to me a couple weeks ago. And I'm not saying that you have to practice it, but we have to be cognizant to learn and be awake of different things. So I'm going to give Dr. Janice Williams her props from a class that we took a couple weeks ago while I was away attending to get my doctorate. Something that was very mindful. And, people though, you don't do astrology, you don't do numerology, you don't do this. But something that she did just blew my mind. And I just want people to be cognizant of, different practices. And not to say that you have to take on everything, but what feeds you? One thing that she said, because you said you were talking about birthdays, you're talking about anniversaries, you're talking about how many years before you were even thought about, right? It was God had already ordained who your parents was going to be, how old they were going to be, where your location was going to be. And when you get born, the first 24 hours, you're known by numbers. Because the first thing they'll say is baby. It doesn't, you have numbers before you have your name. Now I'll just drop the mic on that one.
Look, well, and here's the thing, and that's why we're here, Michelle, because it really is about, and we talked about this before we went live, that it really is about awareness. People have the right to make their own decisions about things they're going to, so you stand firm where you are, but this is about giving people some awareness, some education, about informing them about that there's a lot of different people out in this world that are doing different things, and your new book is talking about, remedies and recipes on healing, whether it's headaches and things like that. So, or and other kind of things. So our bodies are going, and I'm just speaking for myself. At 56 years old, I can tell you that my body is going through things that I ain't never seen, heard, or thought about before. And I am in pure denial about the fact that I have to do something different than I've always done. So we have to admit that sometimes we out here looking for a remedy or a recipe. What do I need to take? I'm taking my chamomile tea. I'm swearing that it works. So we need something like this new book that you have coming out, and I'm really excited about it. I first wanted to shout out everybody who's joining in. Thank you all so much for your continued to support and tuning into us with our guests that come every week. We have 4 people in here that are about this project, and I'm going to give you the title of the book. And before we tell you how you're going to get this book, and we're talking about the digital copy and the paper copy, we want to talk about how Michelle got into this, what made her decide that she wanted to do this, and we're going to talk to the authors. I think there are 11 authors all together with this book project, but we have 4 of them here with us, so they're going to speak on their behalf. And I know it's going to be some good stuff. So I see that a couple people that have joined received their autographed copy of The Power Shut Up. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the read. It might not be what you think it is. I know we play around with shutting up, but really it's not about going around. I've had several people come to me and say, oh, so I get to go around tell people to shut up. No, that's not what it's about. But it is about how to use your voice. And it's about, it was a healing process for me. So that kind of is how I connect with what you all are doing with this new book. So Michelle, I want you to tell us a little bit about how you decided that you were going to put together this project called book project rather called Daughters of Healing, Remedies and Recipes. It's essential guide for mind, body, soul well-being. I know where the mind, body, soul comes from, so make sure you share that with them. But tell us how you actually landed with this book project.
So again, Lisa, thank you so much. So the concept of this book came about because one, I'm all about healing, the modalities. Ever since 2008, when I started working with this doctor, she was doing more holistic health stuff. And I thought it was kind of crazy. But then when I started looking at her using this on-demand machine for stress relief or relieving someone who's having anxiety, looking at their frequency, using their natural pulses. So I'm like, it just took me down a rabbit hole from essential oils down to everything else, from sound healing. And then it took me into the realm of my work of therapeutic. So one of the things this came together is because I have always heard that some folks in my family were gifted. They could see in the spirit realm. They would say it's fortune telling or prophecy, but it's no different to me than prophecy. As far as myself, I can put together some remedies right now, and I've been telling people different recipes. So why not share this, but also debunk the myths that everything that you call or you may say is not traditional, but non-traditional practices do work. And I just wanted to bring together a collaboration of people. I put the call out, and this is how we got our team for this project. Everyone has a different background. Some of the stories share, which was passed down, because again, how do we don't know? Because they're racing away our history, but this is one way to bring out the old time way. I had people talk about, oh, you don't want to be a doula. Why not? You had the midwife come all the way from another county to deliver your baby. People was out in the living room singing, shouting, praising God, and it was a way to help this mother heal, to let her focus. So it's a lot in here, and it's going to be some good stuff.
I love it. So because what I understand is that the digital version of this book is coming out tomorrow. I'll get you to tell us a little bit more about that, but let's talk with the some of the co-authors. And I'm sure, Michelle, you've provided a lot of information in this book, but you all tell us, and you can go in any order, but tell us a little bit about your chapters. Is this a chapter book where each of the people who are part of it kind of talk to a specific healing procedure or something, or how did you set this or align this book?
So they talked about what their practice is, how they got into their practice, how was it passed down, but they also been through their healing process as well. So Gina, you want to talk about yours?
Hi, everybody. My name is Gina Walton. I'm one of the co-authors. I'm a Reiki master, energy healer, iridologist, and a holistic lifestyle coach. My chapter, I got into the importance of ancestral healing, how knowing what is in your DNA and what some of your forebears experienced during their lifetime, how generational trauma can be passed down, the importance of epigenetics and how it relates to mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, and the importance of utilizing holistic modalities to heal those areas, to combat mental fitness, getting into some of the spiritual aspects that Michelle was talking about to heal those areas, like Reiki, energy healing, which deals with the energy centers in the body. Most people know them as the 7 chakras, deep breathing, meditation, visualization, mirror work, affirmations, and so on and so forth. So that is what my portion of the book is about. And I give a glimpse into why I chose that area and my journey to healing as well.
So let me ask you a question before we go on to the next author, because you don't get away that easily. No, I'm just kidding. But I wanted to ask you a question about when Michelle reached out to you or you reached out to her. What was it about this particular book project where you felt like, well, first question is this your very first book?
It is.
Okay, well, congratulations. I love to hear that. Welcome to the authorship world. But I wanted to ask you, what made you decide, especially because this is your first book project, what made you decide that you wanted to be a part of this book project?
It's funny you should ask that. Honestly, if in full transparency, I didn't think I was ready.
Mm.
Um, I was going through a lot. You'll have to read the book
Yeah, don't give them too much. Don't give them too much.
to find out. I kind of hinted as to what I was experiencing during that time. But a lot of people look at healers as these superhuman beings and think we don't experience some of the same things that we're healing in. And my sister, Michelle, spoke to me and she was like, why not now?
Mm.
Along with a lot of the sisters that worked with us on this project. They spoke life into me, and I began to realize that there were people that needed to hear my story. There were people that needed these healing modalities and to know how to do it. Because the problem is that a lot of us don't know where to start. Um, like Michelle talked about, we look at spiritual healing in our ancestral ways as taboo. And so it was the opportunity for me to overcome some of those stereotypes that come from our own community and kind of plant my feet in saying this is who I am and this is what worked for me. I had to step outside of what we know today as traditional spiritual practices. And it's okay to get what you need. Kind of when we're in church and they tell us, get what you need. I'm telling you all, please purchase this book and get into some of these old modalities, the original ways, and get what you need.
Thank you for that. And again, welcome to the world of publishing and becoming a first time author. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
So I wanted to move on to, and this is, I'm going to say, Miss Wisdom. I like how that yeah, I was practicing beforehand, but I am not even going to dip into that. So you going to say your first name.
So I'm they call me Talaka Wisdoms. My
Laka.
legal name is Ramona, but
Okay.
I'm also called Faces because I have many of them. I'm that friend that whatever you need at that time, I can be that friend. So if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm that shoulder. We need to go, I'm that friend. We can go grease up our knuckles. So that's why they call me Faces because okay, what you need, I got you. So so that's what it is. But everybody just calls me Talaka now.
Okay. Talaka. See, I got it right.
Yes.
Very much.
um. So
So
do you want
tell
me?
us a little bit about what made you decide. Oh, first question to you. Is this your first book?
No, it's not.
Okay. So you're
I
not a
actually
newbie.
not a newbie, but this is something that was this topic was new to me and dear
Okay.
to me. I feel like this is something that needs to be heard. I work in the medical field. I'm
Hmm.
not a nurse, but I have 30 years of being in the medical field, and I have watched how we have stepped away from everything that we knew that worked for us. We stepped away from it because they said modern medicine was better.
Mm,
And not knocking modern medicine because if I need penicillin, I'm gonna go take it. But the old remedies that we had, they worked, and we need to get back to that. Basically, it's just like we talk about this all the time. They are completely erasing our history. We have this book hit me hard because my grandmother used to sit me down and say, "You need to make soap." She taught me how to make soap out of lye, how to protect my house with lye. She used to sit down snapping peas and okay, you know when you grow strawberries, strawberries bring snakes, so you got to. That's why you always keep a cat and a dog. You keep the cat to get rid of the snakes. You keep the dog to protect your house. You
I
know,
didn't
it's
know that.
little things like that that my grandmother taught me, but as a kid I rebelled against a lot of it,
Hmm.
and I had to go back into this because I want to not leave my grandchildren without our legacy,
Hmm.
because
Okay.
we can't find, it's not out there anymore.
Well, I mean, I'm enjoying the conversation just because you just taught me something I didn't know. I didn't know the connection between strawberries and snakes, and it's funny because we learn things that kind of help us with things that happen every day at home or whatever. And when you were talking, I was thinking about and I got this from my mama. I did, and she probably got it from her mama. But I am terrified of snakes, and I don't do Mickey Mouse. I like
Mhm.
Disney Mickey Mouse, but yeah, he don't live here. Um, so in the past, when we've had a mouse in the house, I was like, okay, what's going on? Like, how we do this? But I did, my mother said, well, put some, peppermint oil down.
Yes.
And I was like, what? Like, I mean, what are you talking about? But I tried it because, I wanted him out. And it works. And she explained to
Mhm.
me that, the peppermint oil is a smell that they don't like, and they tend to not come back because that smell is familiar to them. So I passed it down to my daughter when she called me screaming about I have a mouse in my apartment. First of all, I was like, don't call me because I can't help you. But I can certainly have my husband bring you some peppermint oil, but I won't be to visit until he's gone. But these are some of the things that we do to help us in different areas of our lives that it's not always about the medicine, because we're quick to kind of pop a pill because we have a headache and things like that, when there are places that you can rub your head and all those kinds of, y'all know more about this than I do. But this kind of brings me back to that, where you kind of go to, and I tend to go to my mom and just say, Ma, this is what's going on with me. What do you suggest? And she's really all about the natural. So she gives me things that I can try first. Yeah, we might get to some, where we have to do something, but maybe try this where you don't have to put something in your body and that kind of thing. So I love what you all are doing. So and I like that you shared that this was very important to you. So this is a different kind of publication that you've gotten to. So you've gotten to pour out some things that you learned and that and this is all about, protecting our family and helping them, young moms who, are trying to find ways to just make it through. You talked about making soap.
Mhm.
And I've had a friend who actually made her own soap and deodorant from natural ingredients and things like that, which I thought was absolutely amazing. And it's got to take a certain patience. I'm just saying, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking, what? But I love to hear that this is what we're getting to, that, some of the natural things that are going on in the world, we can get back to it. So thank you for sharing that. We circle back around, so don't go nowhere. Don't you move. But we're going to move on to Shanika to share with us. Why is this your first book?
No,
Oh, okay. So you're
no.
not a newbie either, but tell us a little bit about why you decided to be a part of this book project.
I believe in the work.
Okay.
I've been a holistic therapist for a number of years. And I seen the queen out here that was already doing magnificent things inside of her community. And I love when we as sisters can come together and hold hands and give back in a divine way. A lot of the times there's confusion, and in this it wasn't, you know. And
Mm,
I've been asked to do a number of projects, and so this one was very special because of the energy behind it and what she stand for, and the work that she's already done. I think it speaks for itself. And so for me, I want to be a part of something that's growing. It's something magnificent. It's something that's going to heal the world on so many levels. And this was that project for me. with this
I
with the
love
book.
it. So tell us a little bit about, not too much because they're going to go out and get this book, but tell us a little bit about your, what led you to your chapter.
Okay, so I am a mental health therapist. I am a Reiki master teacher. I am an advanced shaman, a certified Dowsa Archangel Light practitioner, a sound healer, a sacred movement specialist, an author, CEO of Royal Status, CEO of I Am Queen Status, and I am a woman of Most High. So, with that being said, what I wanted to bring was my gift of song, the gift of vibrational healing. I think that we, I should, um,
Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
Hey,
yes, I say.
Dana.
And so it's very important that we understand that. So all of the things that the queens were saying up here represents vibration, increasing your vibration. So my chapter, I focus on my voice. And I'm gonna tell you how. I'm gonna tell you this quick story. So I was in the bathtub. I always take a lot of spiritual baths, and people say healing baths. So your grandmother said, "Oh, you feeling bad? Go take a bath, drink some tea," right? So I was in the bath, and I was just being with God. And God said, open your mouth. And so by this time, I'm already healed. I'm already doing work. I'm already in the field. I've been in here several years. And so I seen somebody years back before I get to this part, and they said you're going to be a sound healer. So guys, I did an album before, but it was like neo soul. I said, "Oh, and I read?" And they was like, "No." I was like, oh. I don't know what you're talking about then. So go back to the bath. So I'm in the bath, and Spirit said, "Open your mouth." And when I opened my mouth, a sound came out. And I got chills. I got up, I hurried up, I got out the bathtub. So I went in and went to my son, and I was like, "Hey, listen to this." And I did. I did it, right? He was like, "Mom, right?" I said, "Right, right." So I called my girlfriend. I said, "Girl, listen to this." And I did it for her, and it was a thing. And so I'm doing events where I'm using this sound, and pain is removed from people's body just because of my voice, nothing else. And so I wanted to share that in the book, and I wanted to talk about where it came from, which is my grandmother and my mother doing my hair and humming, and me just having this very deep calling for sound. And so you said you didn't want too much, so that's
No,
something.
because no.
So
They're
that's
gonna be stingy tonight because the purpose is for you all to go check it out.
get the
So
book.
we don't want to give them too much. But yeah, but I still we're not going nowhere just yet. What I would love to do at this point and then come back in and continue to talk with you all, is Michelle provided us with a little snippet of what the book looks like. So when you go online, you know what you're looking for. We want to make sure you get to the right book. So we're going to share this little clip, and then we're going to come back and continue the conversation. So thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing that with us. Just so you all know what to look for when you go on Amazon or other online outlets to check out this book. I do want to say, Michelle, I want Michelle to lead this line of questioning because I know that Michelle is all about the mind, body, and soul. She has a podcast that she does called Mind, Body, and Soul. This is her walk. This is what she does. She's very determined to help others in all areas. Michelle is like one of those people who she gonna give it a go. She's gonna try it. She gonna do something with it. You can't hand her nothing that she's not gonna do nothing with. And I'm so proud of what you're doing. So I thank you for even the projects that you have, but most of the things that you do are very much centered around mind, body, and soul. And I like that because you're staying in that space of healing. And I love it. So I want to ask you, and then we'll go around, ladies, and share before we take another break. I want to ask you about who are you looking when you thought about this book? Who were you looking to be your audience? Was it a specific, was it more the elderly? Are you interested in the children maybe getting some of that history? of the things that we used to, the old school things we used to do? What was your audience? What was your mindset on who you want this book to reach?
Everybody, anybody who is open to learn and just look at it from a different viewpoint. Basically, one of the things is I definitely want it for those who don't believe in non-holistic health practices or non-traditional practices such as others. I mean, everybody has their view, everybody has their viewpoint, but I've always said, and like you said, I create the spaces. And matter of fact, right now we're here at a retreat, we're here right now, and we're here by the ocean to get renewed. We're here right now with a retreat right now, from fall to freedom. So these are the type of spaces that I create for people to come in, because you know what? Some people may be in certain places and they don't even get the healing. You can sit in church or whatever else and still be broken down. But little intimate settings for here where you can get a meditative, you can get very intimate setting, because some people don't want to share. But then I've seen it, Lisa, if you experienced it from the retreats, that I tell everybody, you may want to do a retreat, but you have to be called into the retreat. And that's one of the callings that God has given me. And I'm going to say, yes, God. Yes, I still have God. He uses me as a vessel. And that's all it is. I just want to heal, have people heal in their mind, their body, and their soul. And one of the things is that I'm licensed to do what I can do. And there are different modality and practices as I've been trained to do in my work that I use, even in the settings. You'd be surprised where, I had someone say to me, I went to go do a tea inflammation because I'm working on the tea brands where for healing, for anxiety, a calm blend. I went to a Pacific Center and I said to them, who's in here have arthritis? Now this was seniors, everybody.
I was about to say, okay.
Everybody raise a hand. I say, well, okay. Well, I'm going to give you a remedy that you can use to tea. You can get some lavender. You can get some jasmine. You can get some eucalyptus. You can get this to put this together and brew it together, right? Some chamomile. Like you was talking about chamomile tea, Lisa. Yeah, you want a healing remedy. You're on a healing, and it's some Canadula, right? All of a sudden, the woman goes, oh, what you putting together? I said, you said you needed. Have you ever thought about advancing the voodoo? I said, no, ma'am, that's not in my calling. No,
that's right.
That's not in my calling. I'm giving you a remedy to help you with your arthritis. How did you get that out of that? But I said, thank you, because now you have opened the doorways for what I really want to do is teach these different practices. I will go back to say, I can remember when going to my aunt, she would have us go pick up dandelion. What are you seeing now people doing? Drinking dandelion tea, right? So it was embedded in me. It's making me go back. It's embedded in me. So I just want people to have an open mind on different things.
I love that you said that because, and we're so far from it. So I like that you ladies are kind of bringing it back to some of the natural. And I say that because my mom is who told me about chamomile tea and even ginger tea for settling your stomach, for digestive issues and things like that. But I remember that there was a moment where I just couldn't seem to wind down. And my mother suggested the chamomile tea, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this every day. So because I started to enjoy the relaxation that I got from it before I, went off to sleep. And my husband was like, are you supposed to drink that like every night? Because it was so different from, taking the Tylenol or something like that, even though we've gotten away from what's natural versus, so it's natural to just take the Tylenol versus trying something, because I think we now believe that couldn't possibly do anything for us because we're so convinced that this works. And you all are suggesting things that maybe don't require those kind of medications. It's just natural things that are in the earth. My mother is definitely one of those that will, well, yeah, she after surgery, I'm suggesting that you might want to bend the rules a little bit, Ma, because you in a lot of pain here. But no, but she really believes in a lot of natural things, and she's a chemist as well. So
Oh,
she's
she
very,
got it. She got
yeah,
it.
she's very
So,
much aware of. And believe me, when it's something that they give you, I'm calling my mother saying, "Am I supposed to be taking this?" Because all medications, because we don't know what these medications do, and a lot of times they're giving you one for all, and it's not one for all. It's one for this, but they're not telling you that. Or for women, this works better than it does for men. But if you don't open up to try to learn some things and learn what you're doing to your body, because our bodies, especially at this stage of the game, we need to take care of these bodies because yeah, that's all we got to walk around with, and I struggle at times getting out the bed because I'm like, it didn't used to be this hard to sit up. What's going on? So I like what you ladies are doing. I wanted to, did any of the other authors that you all want to share? How did something you go through? I think Shanika, you shared, that was an amazing story. Did you ladies go through something where you kind of figured out something that was helpful and just decided, I need to share this with others? Similar to what Shanika said she went through, where she kind of discovered something that was, healing, and she decided that she needed to share this.
Well, I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
without telling too much.
I'm not gonna talk about my parsley yet, but how I really started digging into this is we have such a influx in mental health issues.
Mhm.
And what a lot of people don't know about mental health, bipolar, schizophrenia, all of those things are caused by imbalance in our system. Like most of them, it's either like a sodium deficit or a mineral deficit. But in the government, they know. I can't be mindful. People know these things. However, they they cannot make monies off of it, so they've stopped the research into those things. But it has been, they have shown studies where if you get the right amount of niacin, it can help reverse what's going on with people with schizophrenia. Some dealing with bipolar, if they get the right amount of sodium, it can reverse those things. And by me seeing the huge increase in that, and just us with heart, lung disease, just kidneys, our liver, everything, just all of these things that are just wiping us out, and high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
That's what got me into this. And I talk about what parsley can do for you with your high blood pressure in this book. You
Yeah,
know,
but you're not gonna tell them. You're not gonna tell them tonight. Sorry, y'all. Y'all gonna have to get the book.
but it's just little things that we can do that unknowingly will save your life. And so you can, help you get things under control and help
That's
you.
right. Because, and I like it too, because I will say, and I'm being very transparent as I always am, Michelle. Sometimes I think I'm telling too much, but um, it's kind of scary getting older, and you don't really, I've learned a lot in the last, I say, few years, where you're kind of in denial because you're used to not having to do things, and you don't realize that your body doesn't produce the same things that it used to when you were younger. So you have to replenish in other ways. And I've been in major denial about that. Like, why I gotta do all of that? Why can't I just get up like I did? But I do have arthritis in both my shoulders. And I do have to, we talked about this earlier, even with headaches, you have to differentiate between where this headache is coming from. Is it sinus? Is it tension? Is it, because people get frustrated when they can't seem to get rid of it because they've been trying what they always did, and they never tried something else that might have, relieved that pain. You got to figure out where that pain is coming from. And sometimes it's hard work. I'm just saying. Sometimes you just got a whole bunch of stress on your life, and you got some other things you need to be taking care of. Don't have nothing to do with no medication. I'm just saying. And that's those remedies and recipes y'all talking about. I did want to go to we talked to Shanika, we talked to Mrs. Wisdom. Miss Wisdom. Yeah, I'm gonna stay there. And we want to go to, tell me the other authors, and Gina. Gina, is there something that you've experienced in life that kind of brought you to a place where, you're like, hey, We got to get our bodies in order, our minds in order,
Well, in
without telling too much.
piggybacking off of what Talaka talked about, the mineral, vitamin deficiencies, things going on in our gut and in our different body systems that affect our overall well being, but more specifically, our mental well being. She's absolutely right. But I would like to add the addition on my piece that I wrote on, which is ancestral healing. And a lot of times we don't know where a lot of our traumas and experiences come from that have us in the states that we're in when we're experiencing some of our, what I would like to say, lack of mental fitness. Um, More specifically, when we get into generational things that occur within our family systems, going back to what is in your DNA. So, taking the time to actually figure out what that is, I actually talk about something called epigenetics. What is in our DNA? Um, just to explain what epigenetics is, it's the science behind why we do what we do. You'll have to dig a little bit into the book
That's right.
to get a little bit more about that. But how all of these elements and our ancestral ways, bringing those practices back, tapping back into what Dr. Hammond was talking about. People sometimes get our ancestral modalities, excuse me, confused with holistic health, and they don't know how they work
That's a
together.
good one.
They get
That
away
part.
from what we call the healing modalities, and they misconstrue and have a misconception on what some of these other practices are when you get into Ifa, hoodoo, voodoo, and there's a big misconception on what holistic health is in combined with these ancient modalities, and it's very taboo. So I think it's very important to get educated and understanding. It's more specifically to what us that identify as African American and the history of what hoodoo is in relation to holistic health. When you get into root working, more specifically, most root workers are healers. They focus on the holistic wellness, the overall well being of people within the communities, the doulas, the spiritualists, the healers, and so on and so forth. So I think there's just been a big misconception on how we look at these modalities. And I think it's very important for books like this and platforms like this so that we can have the practitioners come on and bring us back into awareness of what all of these healing modalities is. So for me, um, I would say without getting too far into it, just experiencing a lot of generational traumas in conjunction with going through a divorce. I found myself kind of lost without an anchor, and then I found this. I leave it there.
No, look, and that's why conversation, and you all are using your voices, you're using your gifts, and having these kind of conversations kind of, opens this room up for information. That's what we're here for, to share and exchange information. And everything doesn't work for all, but we have to hear the information so we know where to pull from, because
Right.
everybody has the option of choice. But if you're only limited to what you knew 5 years ago, then those are the only choices you have. So I like that you all are kind of sharing your ideas and where it came from, because there's a motivation behind everything. I mean, even when I talk about, and I connect this with, and I would, so I'm laughing because I would say the power shut up is a natural remedy. I would. Um, and that sometimes it's just really natural to just shut your mouth. And it does heal. It does heal. I'm telling you, I saw peace on the other side, and learn my lesson. But I mean, these are the kind of things that we're talking about, like things that we can actually do. Okay. We can do this all by ourselves if we just focus and put our mind to it. But it's funny that it's sometimes connected to health, because the whole issue with Power Shut Up, I ain't gonna tell y'all too much except for those that have the book, but it was a health issue that was brought to my awareness through me continuing to speak on something that I had absolutely no control over.
Wow.
And I had to learn a hard lesson. And actually a few,
Mhm.
there was quite a few lessons. Okay, look, I hear you.
Right.
There was quite a few lessons, but one of them was you need to shut up. Okay. So I hear what you all are saying, and I love this. I think this will be a wonderful book for people to pick up. And I encourage everyone who's tuned in tonight to please, and without further ado, I'm going to tell you, please, but Michelle is going to jump in and tell you when you can get the digital copy. And I also want you to tell them about the paperback. So we're going to shift over to where can they get this book so that they can get it, because we ain't telling y'all everything tonight.
So tomorrow at 2 p.m., I want you guys to flood to get your ebook. It's only for $2.99 tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. You got some people overseas, give it to them, because I tell you, we actually are in India. This is being going to be showed up in India because we have someone who is of color who does Ayurvedic practices, and I will share. She's one of our Makiva Miller. She is one of ours who her daughter was in a ring for a liver transplant, and just to say, and what happened was using her practices of her daily smoothie, when you get liver transplants, they only give you 5 or some years. Guess what? Her daughter has lived beyond those years and still living. So it's like the recipes that's in there. She shares her story, and then I share from a different side. From, like I said, I work with a holistic health doctor, and when getting into the essential oils, where I was stressed out, just not focusing, but learning how to do a herbal bath, and I gave out a remedy, one for calm, magnesium oil for pains and for getting good grounded sleep. I tell that story. It's just so many in there. Again, we have someone who Sharonda Hines, who talks about being passed down from elderberry from her family, who has 164 acres of farmland where they got mullein. We're mullein, where she talks about how the lungs, listen, mullein, mullein, get yourself some mullein for these cold seasons. It will bring the inflammation out there. Now, let me put this disclaimer. We're not curing. We're just giving you some things that you can use. But it's phenomenal. I can't believe.
Look, y'all are actually confirming some things for me, because and think about it. We went through COVID, and we had to make some shifts. Okay, there are people who are terrified, people who didn't know what to do, but through all of that, I learned some of the things that y'all are mentioning right now. I'm like, I am on the right path with some of this, because I had to figure things out, and it wasn't just for headaches or things like that, but it was actually for, like you mentioned, to calm my nerves, because I was in denial about where we were in this world at some point. Right. So I was like, I need something to bring me back down so that I could figure this out. I opened up my Bible. I built my relationship with the Lord, but at the same time, I was like, but why is my neck hurting so bad? Like, what's going on? But it's a combination of things. And you got to figure it out. And I think we've taken it back to the core.
Taking it back to the core.
I love this. I
do got to share this one story, and I hope she's watching. So at my job, I'm like, now they talk about doing a Zen room because they know the space. When people come to my office, the clients, they have to look down at my rug, and the rug says, check your energy before you come in this space. Right. So one day I had somebody come in, they were just all over the place. I said, hold up, let's breathe. But I want you to go out that door, shut that door behind you. And I want you to look down. They looked down. They was like, oh, okay, Miss Hammond. It's just imagine of looking like that, right? So then one day, one person, one of the administrative people couldn't move. She was bent over, couldn't move, back went out, right? And it's funny, but it's funny the way she says it. But what happened was, I said, well, first of all, I have a little gift that, just laying on the hands. And I hadn't used Reiki in a year, right? And Queen Queens down the bottom told me, which was funny. That's why I said it was funny. I said to my coworker, I said, "Now, do you mind if I do a couple of tapping?" So I did some EFT on her, and then I just had a session with her. Within minutes, she walked and straightened right up. So she went around the office saying, I don't know what Michelle done, but she put some voodoo stuff on me. So now they go around and call me the voodoo queen
And
around
that's
there.
where the
It'd be
rumors.
just hilarious. It'd be hilarious. But it just go to show that she entrusted me to help her, to help her. And that next day, I'm on the phone call with Queen here, Shanika. Shanika said, sis, you need to start using your hands even more. And I know you feel that burning in your hands right now. So that's why I say all of us are aligned in this book. It is just, and I'm getting ready to get teared up just thinking, talking about it. It is when you called and know that you called to do this thing, and without people saying that it's witchcraft, it hurts. But when all you want to do, he said he gives you gifts of healing. We just gotta stop what we've been accustomed to. Because to be honest, what may come, we might not can get to the store
Come
to
on.
medication. I'm just being for real. We might not can't be able to afford it for what this world is going to be getting. People just got to get tapped in and awakened. And what you were saying about blood pressure and different things. Some hibiscus tea, start drinking that. That will decrease your blood pressure. I mean, it's just things like that we just giving out the information.
Yeah,
Now,
and we're not going to look, Michelle, we're going to stop right here because y'all going to go get this book. Because they're not giving out goodies tonight. I'm trying to tell y'all, we gave y'all more than enough. But I love this conversation. I like what you all are doing. I like the goal that you are setting, and I think that it's time. I mean, I think that this is definitely a time in our lives where we're having to circle back around and get back to the core. So you all are definitely doing that. So thank you so much for even coming on the Power Shut Up and talking about this. Because this is what, sometimes when we have these conversations, people are they shy away from conversations that might challenge areas of thought or ideas and things like that. And I think that, I think conversations like this need to be had. You got to know, knowledge is key. You can't even make a decision without all the information. So you got to at least hear it. But these are the kind of things that are helping me to understand that even some things I've passed down to my daughter, I'm like, okay, maybe I know a little something. Well, kind of when my mother knew something and she shared it with me, I get it. I wanted to share some of the thoughts in the chat. Lisa says, garlic is great for blood pressure as well. Good information for natural healing. Yeah, this is great information. I'm feeling better, because sometimes I will say people get kind of depressed about the fact that they just can't seem to get rid of the pain. They get stressed with trying to fix it, and they don't know what to do. And this is an opportunity to maybe try something new that you haven't tried before. What's wrong with it? So I thank you, ladies, for joining us. We're going to shift gears a little bit and have a little fun with some Power Shut Up stuff. But I wanted to, and Michelle probably knows this about me, I am real random with supporting. There are a lot of people in the chat that are sharing and tuned in. Please connect with them. And please connect with the ladies that are here with us tonight, and go out there and support them tomorrow at 2:00 and get their digital version. I think, did you mention, Michelle, that the paperback will be available on Monday?
Yes.
So y'all have to get this book. The name of the book again, Michelle, can you tell them?
Daughters Healing, Remedies, and Recipes, Essential Guide for Mind, Body, and Soul Well-Being. But Lisa, can you give about 30 seconds for Shanika to do her voice?
Absolutely.
Okay. I say thank you, Queen. So I need everybody to just relax in. I know Miss Lisa, you said you was going through some tension in your shoulders, okay? And so everybody's listening. I need you, when you take a deep breath in, I need you to ground your feet in. But take a deep breath. I need you to come from the ground, bring in God inside of your body. So it's going to be 5, 5, and 5, okay? So we're going to breathe in 5. We're going to hold that breath, and you're going to think about your shoulder, right? And you're going to circle around your heart, and you're going to push it out. And while I am having sounds, I need you to think about your pain in your shoulder just releasing. Imagine you giving it up to God, okay?
Okay.
Okay, you guys can close your eyes too.
Okay.
So close your eyes for me and just be still. So bring in that breath. Hold that breath. Release out that pain. Again, ground your feet in and just ask God to come in. You are connected to God at this very moment. Again, in. Hold that breath. And release it down. Last time, bring it in through your crown, through the heavens, through your body, and whatever that stress is from the long day, ball it up, ball it up. Release down. Just take a moment, give it honor for this moment, and relax down. There you go.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Very nice. Very nice.
What?
Y'all know me.
I'm laughing at.
You gotta do that again.
If you really allow yourself to be in it, even if you couldn't do it, Miss Lisa, Dr. Lisa, if you couldn't do it now, go back and do it later. And you will see a dissipation inside of there if you allow it. I know you're on the spot and you're not used to that, but I've been in front of an audience and everybody in the audience have released pain. So even if you're not in any pain, it will release stress out of your life. So thank you for allowing me that moment.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. Again, I want you all to please support these ladies in their new project, and go out tomorrow and support them. I think, you can this book can be a bestseller. You all go out there and download that digital copy, and then on Monday, get that paperback book. Thank you all for being here. We're going to have a little fun before we leave. I did want to do a special shout out. This is for my HBCU family. So I don't know if you all have ever heard of, this is new to me, but it's called the Lip Bar. And there's a young lady out there that's selling, she has all kinds of makeup and things like that. But I was intrigued with the HBCU collection. It's called the HBCU Glossful Collection. So yes, I did go out there, and if you all know her, I'll try to tag her in this. But I went out there and I purchased.
Ooh, beautiful.
But I will say that I am rocking the Spellman Girl color. Okay. It is really cute, but she has some amazing colors, you all. So she doesn't know me. I don't know her, but I am just sharing that you all need to go out there and get, because I don't need to know somebody or have a connection with them. If I see something I like, I go out there and support, and then I share. So please, if you feel, the need to, even if you didn't go to a HBCU, but I did go to Spelman, so I had to support. And this pink is so cute, but I have the Spellman Girl. I also wanted to, again, I'm telling you all to go out and purchase their book, but we're going to have a word of the day before we leave, and a tip of the day. And then I have a question to leave you with before these ladies tell you where you can find them. So the word of today is bafflegab. And I want the first person who can give me the definition in the chat. You will get a copy of The Power Shut Up, unless you already have one, and then we'll give you a copy of another book. So the first person that can give me the definition of bafflegab will get a copy and be the winner. While we're doing that, please drop it in the chat. We're going to have a tip of the day, which we do every Thursday, because this is all about the power shut up, communication, how to manage our voice so that we can start to understand and comprehend each other. So tip of the day is check your why. Ask yourself why you feel the need to respond. If it is not going to be productive, maybe you don't need to say it at all. So I want you to take that with you your week. Sometimes we just got to think first before we speak. And most of the time, when I started practicing that, I ain't even say it because it wasn't that important. So think about it. This is not suggesting that you never use your voice. It's just suggesting that you use your voices wisely. So before we go on, I wanted to have you ladies tell us where we can find you on social media so that everyone can connect with you.
Go ahead.
My company is called ROUR Wellness Academy, and I can be found by that on Instagram and Facebook, as well as www.rwellnessacademy.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Michelle, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at Michelle Bolden Hammond, and that is my Facebook. And for Instagram, it is Upfront Mind Body.
So I can be found on Facebook under Talaka Wisdoms, or also you can reach out to Saving Minds Coalition, which is one of my nonprofits that I've started, founded, which helps us match us with providers that look like us and understand us. Also, we assist our homeless population. Pretty much, we started out with that, but it's evolved until we help anybody who comes to us with the issue. We try our best to assist in place.
Okay. Thank you.
Shanika Marie Healing through Shanika Marie. That's healing, THRUSHENIKAMARIE. And my website is www.iamshanikamarie.com. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies,
May
so
I
much.
add one more?
Congratulations on your new publication. You wanted to say something?
Yes, you can also reach out if you go to HPOC, which
Okay.
is Holistic Professionals of Color. I'm the Houston chapter president. You can also go to their website if you can't find me in any of those others. You can look at you can find me there and also look at some of the courses that they're offering. And right now, just right now, I think it might be today might be the last day because they're revamping and the course is so much more that they're wanting to add to our herbalist course. She's running a special for the university is running a special for $19 for
Okay.
the first and second course of that. But it's all uploaded, and these are all university courses, and they're also accredited. I'm actually we have Dr. Bolden, but I also have received my bachelor's from HPOC. So
Congratulations to
I'm
you.
working on my doctorate. So I couldn't leave without saying that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I thank you, ladies, for joining me here tonight.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for allowing the Power Shut Up podcast to help support and promote. So you all go out there and get that book. But I have one question for everybody before we say good evening. And I want you to take this question, which we had a comment. Thank you so much. Very informative. Blessings and congratulations to all. It was from Empowering Perspectives. So I want you all to ask yourself this. Oh, we have a winner, Pretentious. We were talking about bad. I almost forgot. So Crystal is a winner. She's a winner. Look, let me tell you, Michelle has won quite a few things on this podcast as well. She probably got everything I got over here, and I got a lot of stuff over here.
I got my nice little bag right with me now.
Look, so Crystal, I'm going to surprise you with something, but you already have the book. Thank you so much for your support. But I love to give. So you're going to win something every night here. This is something new we started, but I'm always giving stuff. But congratulations to Crystal. But I want to ask you a question to take you into next week, just something to think about. As we talk about these different things, we talk about communication, we talk about the things that our guests are doing in the communities. But I want to ask you a question. Will you use your words to hurt or to heal? And that's the decision that only you can make. My suggestion is, of course, to heal and to help, but you make that decision. If you can say it don't sound right when it come out the other way, I'm just saying. But if you can say out loud what you want to do, then let's do better. And I look forward to seeing you all next Thursday. The Power Shut Up podcast comes on every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We stream live on Facebook and YouTube, but you can also find the show on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Sharifa's probably back there saying she ain't say all of them. I can't remember all of them, but please go out there. You can actually follow the Power Shut Up page on Facebook. You can actually follow Lisa Dove Washington YouTube channel. And I actually have a TikTok page. I have a lot of fun out there. And all I say is y'all just enjoy life. Life is too short. We really have to lighten up and take care of ourselves, but at the same time do a lot more smiling and laughing, because ain't nobody got time for that other stuff. I'm just saying. So until next week, have a wonderful weekend, long weekend for some, and we will see you next time.